Whenever you're ready.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Hey, we talking about the Public Transit Sports blog with Mick right here. First things first, we're going to go with the NFL rankings for week number 4. Top 5 teams in the NFL week number 4. You ain't going to believe it, but the Houston Texans is the number 5 team in the NFL. Number 4 team is the New Orleans Saints. We expected that. Number 3 team in the NFL week number 4 is the Baltimore Ravens. The hard-hitting Baltimore Ravens. Here's a surprise. Number 2 team in the NFL week number 4 is the Detroit Lions. Number 1 team NFL week number 4 is the world champion Green Bay Packers. Number 1 ranked passer in the NFL week number 4 is Tom Brady, New England Patriots, 1,500 yards, 13. What's up, man?
What's up?
13 touchdowns in 4 weeks. All right, the number 1 running back is Darren McFadden of the Oakland Raiders, 468 yards already. All right, Wes Welker is the top wide receiver in the NFL. Week number 4, he got 616 yards already. NBA ain't nothing. Nothing going on in the NBA. They still on strike. LeBron, Durant, all of them holding exhibition games. Everybody talking about going overseas to supplement their income like they need their income supplemented. These rich bastards. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Kobe said he'll go over there and play for the Italian League for $3 million a month. Imagine that. But it's in their contract that as soon as the NBA strike is over, the CBA agreement comes into effect, their contract becomes null and void, so they can automatically come back to the NBA. All right, the Major League playoffs. Texas Rangers at this point in time. This is Tuesday. What's today's date? The 4th, October, 2011. Texas Rangers leading the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1 in American League. All right, in the American League also, the Detroit Tigers are leading the New York Yankees series 2-1. So, depending on that, those 2 teams will end up meeting for the division finals. All right, in the National League, you got the Philadelphia Phillies versus the St. Louis Cardinals. That series is 1-1. Then you got the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. That series at this present time is 2-0 in favor of the Milwaukee Brewers. All right, we're going to give you the top 5 games this past week in week 4. You had the Detroit Lions visiting the Dallas Cowboys. All right, and they end up winning that game. They beat Dallas, and they are now 4-0. Dallas is now 2-2. The final score of that game was 34-30. Detroit was down by 24 points going into the 4th quarter. Dallas knew they had him. Tony Romo was on a streak. I mean, he was throwing for 300 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, but in the 4th quarter, he threw for 3 interceptions, and then it was history. Now imagine, Detroit Lions, just 3 years ago, 16-game season, they lost every game 3 years ago. We in 2011 though now. These boys is 4-0. And they scuffling with the Green Bay Packers for that black and blue division up north. All right, the next game we got. The Atlanta Falcons went against the Seattle Seahawks. They won that game, so they're now 2-2. The Seahawks, which lost, they're 1-3. Atlanta won that game 30-28. Atlanta controlled that whole game, running, strategically passing, play action passes. In fact, the clock possession at the end of the game, they held the ball 40 minutes out of a 60-minute game, and Seahawks only had it for 20 minutes. But they led by 20 points going into the 3rd quarter, and they barely hung on to win. Matt Ryan threw for 298 yards. Julio Jones, the rookie, the hype rookie from Alabama, had 11 catches for 127 yards. All right, the 3rd game we got is New York Jets went to the Baltimore Ravens. After that game, the Jets end up being 2-2. The Ravens are now 3-1. The Ravens beat them 34-17. The Ravens defense totally dominated that game. Ravens offense didn't do nothing. Let me show you an example. Ray Lewis and his gangs, they caused 2 fumbles. Those 2 fumbles resulted in immediately 6 points off of those fumbles. They had 1 interception. It went for 73 yards for a touchdown. And then the offense scored 10 points. So the defense did all the scoring. And guess what's ironic? The head coach of the New York Jets was their defensive coordinator for 6 years. So they came back and put his stuff that he taught them on him. So that was kind of cool to see. All right, the next game we got is the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers against the Philadelphia Eagles and Mike Vick. The Eagles lost. So the 49ers are now surprisingly 3-1. The Eagles are disappointing 1-3. This is supposed to be the dream team. But Vic did his part. He threw for 416 yards. He rushed for 75 yards. And this was, they didn't even think he would play this week. And he still injured his finger, one of his throwing fingers that game. But they still lost. But he did his part. What they got to do is they got to get an offensive line for that man. Because as long as the man has the talent, he does his job. But if you don't have nobody up there, I mean, how long can you stay back there without running for your life?
You're going to get smashed.
All right. In fact, right at the end, they still had a chance to win. They eventually lost 24-23. They actually dominated the game. But right at the end, he threw a pass to Macklin. Macklin caught the ball, took it down to the 20-yard line, their own 20-yard line, getting ready to score. Then he fumbled it away to the 49ers in the game. All right, the last game we got here is Carolina Panthers versus Chicago Bears. The Bears end up winning, which makes Carolina now 1-3. The Bears are now 2-2. The Bears won 34-29. There were a lot of records set in that game. Devin Hester ran back a punt, 73 yards. He now holds the record for the most punts all time in NFL at 11. Cam Newton is just showing his ass. He threw for 374 yards. He's the second-ranked passer in the NFL, but he's still losing. They got to learn how to win for that boy. Steve Smith, his receiver, caught 181 yards. Matt Forte was the only bright spot for the Bears. He rushed for 205 yards, which is the most yards since Walter Payton. Imagine that. So let me give you all the rest of the scores for week number 4. Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Houston Texans 10-17. Washington Redskins 17. St. Louis Rams 10. Minnesota Vikings and Donovan McNabb 17. Kansas City Chiefs 22. Kansas City wins. Tennessee Titans 31. Cleveland Browns 13. New Orleans Saints 23. Jacksonville Jaguars 10. The Buffalo Bills 20. Cincinnati Bengals beat them at 23-20. The Denver Broncos got smashed by the Green Bay Packers 49-23. New York Giants squeaked past the Arizona Cardinals 31-27. Miami Dolphins still winless, 0-4. They lost 16 to San Diego Chargers 26. And New England Patriots, they beat the Oakland Raiders 31-19. And Monday night's game that just passed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Indianapolis Colts 24-7. All right, that's Public Transport Blog with Mick. We'll holler at you, babe. Peace.
Yeah.
All right, how long? It don't